So Simon, you know how we're both married
Yeah,
to Chinese women?
I think so, yeah.
You'd think that wouldn't be possible the way people keep going on about the fact there's such a gender imbalance here, but you know.
Yeah, it's actually, this is one of the most like requested topics we get all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to understand why a lot of Chinese guys aren't super happy that we married Chinese girls.
Yeah. Watch out for this kid.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so shall we head off and talk about this?
Sounds good.
Let's do it. So, Sea Milk, let's talk about this gender imbalance. Maybe you could tell the people how bad it is and why it's happened in the first place.
Well, the thing is, China is an agrarian society, right? Basically, people would have large families in the past to have more farm hands. And who has stronger hands? Well, men do.
Yeah.
So men have always been the preferable gender of if you have a choice of your birth. So it's actually led to the forced abortion and killings of female babies and stuff. But that's a different topic. What I'm trying to get at is that there's now 40 million extra men in China. And I know, when you look at the total population of China, it's 1.3 billion, right? But 40 million men does add up, especially because it's all confined to the rural areas, meaning that 40 million men now cannot find wives, right?
Correct.
Let's take it right up here.
Okay.
And it's led to a massive issue, and there's a lot of pent-up anger amongst Chinese men, and there's a lot of speculation and wondering as to what China's going to do with 40 million men that won't have wives.
Yeah, well, okay, first of all, if you look at the Chinese character for man, it's broken down into two characters. One is Li, power.
Yeah.
And the other one is field, so strength, basically strength and field, so strength in the field.
Right.
In other words, farming. And when we were driving around in all the rural areas and conquering southern China, we saw lots of signs, and you always see this when you go into the rural parts of China, where the government has actually put up big signs saying, have a boy, have a girl, they'll both look after you, it doesn't matter, boy or girl's the same kind of thing,
right.
trying to change this ingrained mindset that having a boy is the thing to do. Anyway, let's quickly give them a little teaser of us going through and meeting rural people, shall we?
Okay.
So one of the stereotypes I've always tried to break through my YouTube videos is that China is actually an incredibly friendly and hospitable place.
欢迎你们到我们园园来。
非常感谢。
五个很美丽的美女。
谢谢。外面去看一下吧。
好。
哦，感谢你。
他们一次出游，刚好我们也是出游，我们在路上一起就碰见在一起了。
不要钱了，
Yeah,
送给你们钱，不要。
Even in this poor place, she refused to take my money. She ran and stuffed it in my little strap here.
一块叫洋颜色，还有一块银颜色。对，都有。
What he said is like, you drink about 3 of those, you're gonna find a beautiful girl, and you're gonna last at least half an hour.
Being here so long and being able to speak the language and actually talk to the local people and experience all these different local cultures was something really special.
Now, don't forget, if you have not seen Conquering Southern China, there is a 10% discount code here. It is RIDE with us, all in capitals. That is RIDE with us. Limited time only. Go check it out. It's an amazing show.
You should be in an infomercial.
I am an infomercial.
Okay, cool.
Take it right.
All right. Anyway, the thing is, when I first got to China, you wouldn't have thought that there's any kind of gender imbalance. Straight or right?
That's right.
Okay. Because when I got to Shenzhen in 2006, there was a 7-to-1 women to men ratio.
Wow.
So it was like I was blown away. You're just surrounded by women everywhere. And, well, the reason for this is Shenzhen's right next to Hong Kong, right? So there are massive service industries there because of all the rich Hong Kong people coming over the border.
I'm jealous.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously to be waitresses or, masseuses or things like that, and more dodgy stuff as well. But also, a lot of young women, especially if they're good looking, they would come down to Shenzhen and try their luck at getting a Hong Kongese husband, because that That's what
the
they
big
try to
payoff,
do.
right?
Yeah, they get a Hong Kong husband. Usually they're a second wife or something, and he'll pay for everything, and it's an easy life.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it has balanced out over the years, and now it's about 1-to-1. But yeah, I never in my wildest dreams ever thought there was a gender imbalance here.
Take a left.
Okay. Anyway, so Seamilk, maybe you could tell people what Chinese men's tastes are like.
Yeah, it really, honestly, boils down, like a huge part of this issue boils down to the fact that Chinese men are rather, I'm not going to say picky.
Hey, Seamilk, your indicator's on. All right, let's keep
I'm not
going.
going to say picky. Maybe not in terms of the looks department, that's a different thing, but in terms of age. Now, a Chinese man is expected to be older than the woman when they get married, right?
Yeah.
So if you got like a 35-year-old man that isn't married yet, he is not going to find a 34 or 35-year-old woman that isn't married yet. And that's causing a huge issue because now the men don't have wives because they're like, I'm not going to marry an old woman that can't have kids. But then the women also can't find a man because they're, what are they called?
Leftover women.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a huge topic that we should probably cover all on its own. But basically what happens is, in China, the parents try to force people to get married young. They put so much pressure to get married in their early 20s, right? Mm-hmm. But if a woman chases a career, or maybe she just doesn't hook up with the right person, or maybe she does get married but gets divorced, and she hits the age of 30, then she's pretty much useless. I mean, according to Chinese men and Chinese society, that's why they term them leftover women. There's like just no chance of them to find a husband, which is ridiculous considering there's this gender imbalance, right?
I think it's really ironic because women of that age in China usually they're left over because they chose to find a career.
Yeah.
And so they are like able to take care of themselves, and a lot of the leftover men don't really have the means because they're rural to take care of a woman. So they are self-sufficient yet still not wanted.
Correct. It's absolutely ridiculous, but all you need to do is go onto any of these like Asian dating websites and you'll see that they're flooded with sort of middle-aged Chinese women looking for foreign men.
Why do they want foreign men?
Well, it's quite simple, because foreign men don't mind dating or getting married to women, older women, middle-aged women.
Right, or someone of your own age, right?
Yeah, or even if they have a kid, which, in China, to get married to someone who already has a kid is like a no-no. It's impossible, right?
Sure.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, foreigners don't mind, and so they realize this and they go after the foreigners because it's their only choice. But you see how stupid it is, because they have this problem with not enough women, but they're not willing to marry someone that's over the age of 30.
Right.
It's so stupid. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, dude. It's I mean, I don't want to judge the society as a whole, but it's difficult because there's a compounding problem that both sides have the issue, and they're not finding the solution because of people's standards,
That's absolutely correct. But there's something else that you haven't really spoken about, and that is the young men are having trouble marrying the women of their age because...
Yeah.
Why?
Now, this goes... I mean, it's both sides as well, but women tend to prefer a man that's older than them.
Yeah.
And men prefer younger women. So the younger men, especially in the rural parts, their parents say, okay, you're 25 now, let's get married. You better find a wife. The women are getting snatched up by men that are richer and older and more successful because they're able to provide for the family a little bit better. So that's another cause of the imbalance. So you have these just unbelievable societal issues that are all compounding upon each other and creating this unbelievable imbalance.
Yeah.
And China really doesn't know what to do other than say, okay, you better have more girls now. You know what I mean?
Yes, which is it's a growing issue.
And they actually made it illegal to go check your gender when you have a baby.
Yeah, they've done that now, but it doesn't stop people. They just pay a little more.
I found out my child's gender in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone does it anyway. I think that's about wraps it up. What do you say we go check out this cool wall and send everyone off?
Okay, sounds good. Where is this wall of yours?
It's the Great Wall of Huizhou.
Okay. Here we are. Let's take a look. Right, so Seamilk, we're approaching this wall.
Yes.
Is there anything that you would like to say to our subscribers?
I would say that I hope your gender is not imbalanced. That doesn't make any sense. But what does make sense is to go like, comment, and subscribe, because that really helps us out a lot.
Yeah, okay, cool. And whether or not you're gender fluid or whatever the case, as always, you know the deal. Stay awesome.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind